everyone. I'm here to give you kind of the high points of the longest audiobook that I have ever listened to. And that is My Name is Barbara by Barbra Streisand. This audiobook comes in at a whopping 48 hours. And I didn't set out to necessarily finish it. I thought, I'm going to start it and we'll see how this goes. And about, I'd say 30 hours into this quest, I did feel burnt out and took several days off and thought, I just don't know if I'm going to finish it, especially because it was expiring soon. It was a library audiobook. But then I was relieved when I realized that Spotify Premium had it as an audiobook option. If you don't use Spotify, or maybe if you're a premium user and you don't know this, I will share this information with you. Spotify offers, I think it's 15 free audiobook hours per month to its premium users. So we use Spotify so much in our household. We are home a lot because of homeschooling, and I love to have music on in the background, whether it's soundtrack playlists or classical music that I'm trying to listen to more this year, or whether it's, I like to download playlists of just fun music for driving. We do game night every Friday night, and I love having Korean pop on when we play games. It's just very lively and just very fun sounding. So all sorts of reasons. And so this is just another lovely extra perk that Spotify has added this year. And the audiobooks are all very much kind of new releases and in high demand, those kind of categories. So sometimes I do struggle. I'm not really much of a new release reader, but I was delighted when I saw that that was available. Some more kind of buzzed about books. Those are the kinds. So anyhow, all to say that then I felt I had this good backup that I could finish it on Spotify. And so after a few days break and then picking back up with it, it was not too hard to finish this. So I think it was over the course of a month that I finished this. And it was such an experience listening to Barbra narrate to the reader, and in her very authentic voice. It was just so special. And also, what made the audiobook experience, what made me want to do that more than waiting for a physical copy from the library, was the fact that there were audio clips of different songs from her albums, different songs from the musicals that she has been in. And that made it so much more of a vibrant experience. And I came out of this having such respect for the art that Barbra Streisand has made. And she has such a deep, deep love for each and every project that she has been a part of. And it was really interesting to hear her talk about she has this reputation within Hollywood for being very difficult to work with. And she speaks very candidly. I really don't think that it should be considered difficult to be very intentional about the art that you put out, to not compromise quality, and to work slowly on a project. And when you're not happy with how something sounds or looks, to take the time to change it and to fix it. And then hearing her different letters that she had from co-stars and movies, it's clear, I think it's a bit of an unfounded reputation. I do think she is intense. I do think she has very high standards, but I don't think she is this kind of diva that's very high maintenance. I loved hearing, she is not high maintenance with other things in her life. She loves going thrift shopping, and she went on a date. She and James Brolin, I think they went to a Waffle House. She was talking about at some point. So she's not, this diva that just for no reason, she's very fussy and she's never happy with anything. And she just made it clear, this is when she's very passionate about a project, she will not compromise on the quality of it. And I really appreciated that about her. And it's abundantly clear when she's talking about the different movies that she was in, the albums that she made. She just wanted things to be the best that they could be. So I will say the highlights of this for me were hearing about the movies that I was a fan of and hearing her speak about what it was like to film those movies. The 3 movies, I think the 4 movies I was the most interested in hearing about were The Way We Were, What's Up, Doc, The Mirror Has Two Faces, and Yentl. Interestingly, Funny Girl, I think, was maybe my favorite movie to hear about. That was her very first film she was ever on. She starred in the show on Broadway. She ended up having a terrible experience because her co-star, Sidney Chaplin, son of Charlie Chaplin, fell in love with her while they were starring together on Broadway. And then she was already married and she rejected his advances. And he then, while they were live on stage, he would whisper obscenities in her ear that where the audience couldn't hear it, but she could hear it. And it was a very traumatic experience for her. And so she never did a Broadway play again after that. It sounded awful. Finally, he left in a huff after being confronted by the director and Barbara's manager. It was really, really terrible. So I completely understand her not wanting to do Broadway again. And it was just so delightful then to hear her speak so positively about her experience filming Funny Girl. And she starred opposite Omar Sharif. And they didn't have instant chemistry, but by the end, they really worked well together. And the director, Billy Wilder, that was such a highlight for her. And I think one of the reasons that she has the reputation for being difficult is she's willing to speak up to the director and say, what if I did the shot this way? And if he says no, he doesn't think he likes it, then she accepts that. All she wants is for them to consider what she has to offer with her regarding her insights in terms of different scenes. And then I loved when I saw looking ahead on the audiobook and that it was a 2-hour chapter dedicated to The Way We Were. I was very, very excited. And it was really lovely to hear about what that movie was like. She had such a deep connection to the character of Katie. She and Robert Redford didn't know each other before the movie. And what was really cool is he kind of strategically was a little bit standoffish at the beginning of filming and when they were doing the earlier scenes, because I'm pretty sure they were able to film the movie sequentially. And then as they're more and more in love, filming, the characters are more and more in love, he asked her, do you want to go for a drive or do you want to go out for a meal? And it was really cool to hear about how they worked well together. And also, though, he was bitten by a bat shortly before filming The Way We Were, and so he had to get a series of injections regularly during their time of filming. I really loved hearing about her recording the song The Way We Were, which tugs on your heartstrings so much. And there were different aspects of the song that she thought, I wonder if we could do this. Kind of the verses were very much constantly going on a down tone. And she asked, I think actually it would work better if there were more upward ascending notes. And I can't imagine the song being different than it is. Also, she suggested they had a different verse it was going to start out with. And she suggested that it start out with memories. And also the humming at the beginning, that was all kind of spontaneously done. And I just love that song so much. It makes me so emotional whenever I hear it. The thing that did make me sad is that Sidney Pollack, the director, who she really did get along with, he did make a executive decision to cut 5 scenes from the movie. When it was previewed by audiences, he thought none of them liked it. There's debate about that with different people that worked on it. And these 5 scenes are political discussions. And Barbara agreed with him that there needed to be some scenes cut. But there were 2 that she thought made the ending the way it is with the theatrical release very confusing and kind of, it doesn't make sense. But he was adamant that those 5 scenes should be cut. And it has always just broken her heart that the ending, which some of the points that she made, I thought that was a little bit odd about the ending and kind of how things unfold. But just last year, they released a 25th anniversary. I think, no, that's not right. There was a big anniversary of The Way We Were. And they released a DVD with those extra scenes so people could see it how she wanted to. So at some point, I will be treating myself to that edition of it. I was very sad to learn with Yentl. One, it was amazing how long and hard Barbra Streisand worked on getting Yentl made. It was such a passion project for her. And also, she lost her father. She has no memories of her father. She was just a baby when her father passed away. And it has really stayed with her, this losing her father and never getting to know him personally. And so this character of Yentl grieving her father was very personal to her, and she just felt a real deep connection. Sadly, though, Mandy Patinkin was very difficult to work with. And at one point, he basically made it clear, I thought we were going to have a much more personal relationship. I thought we were going to have an affair. And that was something that he was interested in. And he was resentful of her for being rejected. And I was so sad to learn that, because their chemistry in the movie, they really do look, it's very believable that they are, or that she is in love with him. And that was very interesting to me. The one thing that was sad to me is that about the reading experience is that the further in you get to the book, the more it is about her kind of political convictions and the less about the art that she's making. And I just didn't enjoy hearing about that. And I wish that I had gotten more. Kind of the chapter on The Mirror Has Two Faces was really brief compared to The Way We Were. And I feel like I just wanted to know so much more about that. She just went into a lot of detail about current political events and how she wanted to protest different things, and it was just very much more detailed on that than I liked. So the highlights for me were definitely hearing about the movies. It was a really long experience. I'm glad that I did it though, and it has inspired me to watch more of the Barbra films that I haven't seen. I rewatched Funny Girl, and my husband was very impressed by her performance in Funny Girl, and so that made me really happy. I did watch Prince of Tides, and that was really intense. I knew all about the plot because she goes into great detail about the plots in her movies as you're listening and or as you're reading. And I think I kind of regret watching it. There's something really traumatic that happens. There is a family, and you know that something happened when they were kids. You don't know what it is, but they've all suppressed this trauma. And eventually it's revealed, and it's so terrible. It's so very, very dreadful. So I kind of thought, I don't know, do I really want to watch it? But it sounded like it was really beautifully shot, and she directed The Prince of Tides, so it was all very interesting. So it was a really well done movie. And, but it was just that part is really, really intense. So I do, though, I'm not going to be watching A Star is Born. I thought I already was through enough emotionally with The Prince of Tides, but I am planning on watching Hello, Dolly. And then I have Yentl. I want to rewatch Yentl. The Mirror Has Two Faces. It's been so long since I watched that movie. And I'm trying to think. I do think I want to watch her movie with Seth Rogen called Guilt Trip. So I have to pick that one up at the library. I did also watch On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, which was one of her very early films from the 1960s. And it's all about this woman who is reincarnated, but she doesn't have any awareness of her reincarnated state unless she is hypnotized by a psychotherapist. So this is very much a 1960s movie. And it's all about her life from the past, but then the psychotherapist starts to fall in love with her. I enjoyed her performance in it, but the movie I thought was very much a B movie. But I love getting to see her on screen. I just think she's so captivating. Those are my kind of general thoughts on My Name is Barbra. I know this is going to be a very niche kind of video. So if you have stuck with me, these 14 minutes it looks like I've been filming, more power to you. Let's chat about Barbra in the comments and talk about whether or not you're interested in reading this. The one thing I will say too is that there is, in the physical book, there are many, many pictures that she has included. So I have put the physical book on hold from the library because I would just love to get to see some of the things that she referenced there being a picture of. So that will be a very quick library checkout. I'll just kind of look at all the pictures and then return it. And I hope that you enjoy getting to hear about this. Thank you as always for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye.